welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling an absolute foundation of science, specifically topic 1.1 of IGCSE biology. We're going to dynamically break down the core characteristics of all living things. So if you've ever wondered what literally unites every single living creature on Earth, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get into it.
But first, I want to pose a bit of a biological mystery to you. How do you definitively know if something is truly alive? Think about it for a second. If you've got a single microscopic cell, a towering oak tree, and a running cheetah, how can you absolutely prove that all three of those are living, while, say, a rock or a cloud isn't? Well, biology actually has a very strict set of rules for this. And those rules are beautifully captured in what I like to call the ultimate biological checklist. Meet the acronym MRS GREN. That stands for movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. Every living organism, whether it's a tiny single-cell bacteria or a massive blue whale, plant or animal, ticks every single box on this specific list. This acronym is basically going to be our roadmap for the rest of this explainer.
Okay, Section 1. Action and Reaction, the MRS traits.
So let's dive into how an organism actually interacts with its world. It all starts with the M, movement. By definition, this is an action by an organism or a part of an organism that causes a change of position or place. Now, the key phrase to zero in on here is, or part of an organism. Movement doesn't always mean running a full-blown marathon, right? It can be a really subtle shift or just a localized change.
Now, what's really interesting is contrasting how different life forms actually achieve this movement. Most animals are completely capable of changing location entirely. They walk, swim, or fly from point A to point B. But plants, they move too, just differently. They move in response to external stimuli. Like, a plant will literally shift and angle its leaves toward the sunlight, or react to changes in temperature. It's totally still movement, just adapted for a stationary lifestyle.
Moving right along to the R, we've got respiration. Now, think of this as the internal engine that powers everything else on our checklist. Respiration involves the chemical reactions inside cells that break down nutrient molecules and release energy for metabolism. Put very simply, all living organisms need energy. Without respiration acting as the powerhouse to produce that energy, well, no organism would be alive. It's absolutely crucial. Finishing up our action and reaction trio is S for sensitivity. You can think of this one as an organism's built-in radar system. Sensitivity is the ability to detect and respond to changes in the internal or external environment. Pay super close attention to those two crucial words, detect and respond. First, you have to actually sense the change, and then your biology has to do something about it.
Let's look at one of the absolute coolest examples of this in the plant kingdom, the Venus flytrap. Just watch how incredibly sequential and mechanical this sensitivity is. Step 1. The trap detects the presence of an insect brushing against its tiny internal hairs. Step 2. It responds instantly by snapping shut. Step 3. It secretes digestive enzymes to actively dissolve its trapped prey. And finally, Step 4, it absorbs those hard-earned nutrients. That entire incredible process, that's sensitivity in action.
Moving on to Section 2. Size and Survival, the GR traits.
We'll kick off this pair with G for growth. Biologically speaking, growth must be a permanent increase in size and dry mass in living organisms. So it's not just a sponge soaking up a bunch of water and temporarily swelling up. It has to be a lasting increase. And it requires an increase in dry mass, which basically means the actual biological material of the organism has multiplied.
So how does that actually happen biologically? Well, this growth is achieved through cell division, which we call mitosis in the bioworld, as well as an actual increase in the size of the cells themselves. Your body, or a plant stem, is literally building more of itself, block by microscopic block. Pretty amazing, right?
Following growth, we hit R for reproduction. These are the processes that make more of the same kind of organism. So the crucial point here is this. Without the ability to reproduce and pass on genetic material to the next generation, an entire living species would completely cease to exist within a single generation. It is quite literally the ultimate survival mechanism.
All right, on to Section 3. Input and Output, the EN traits.
Let's look at the output side of things first, with E for excretion. This involves the removal of waste products of metabolism and substances in excess of requirements. Now, this isn't just a broad, generic term. It specifically deals with the toxic or unnecessary byproducts generated by those internal chemical reactions we talked about earlier. Or really, just anything the organism has too much of and needs to clear out to stay perfectly balanced.
Just to give you some concrete context here, we're talking about things like exhaling carbon dioxide, eliminating food waste, and flushing out urea. These are all things that the organism's metabolism produces that absolutely must be safely removed.
And finally, we arrive at the N, nutrition. If excretion is the output, nutrition is the fundamental input stage. This is the taking in of materials for energy, growth, and development. Every single living thing needs raw materials to function, right? You need it to fuel respiration and to make growth possible in the first place.
And this brilliantly illustrates the diverse ways organisms pull this off. On one side, we have plants. They take in water, minerals, and gases from their environment to actually produce their own food, glucose, through the magical process of photosynthesis. On the flip side, we have animals. They have to physically eat and digest existing food to extract and utilize those life-sustaining nutrients. Totally different methods, but the exact same biological goal.
Bringing it all together in Section 4, the ultimate life checklist.
We've gone through every single step of this incredible biological framework, so let's lock this into your memory. This is the very basic level of understanding required for Topic 1.1. If you can just remember MRS GREN, movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition, you will always know the absolute criteria that separates the living from the non-living.
So, I want to leave you with a little challenge. Next time you step outside, look at a tree, look at a bird, or even just look at your pet. Can you spot all 7 signs of MRS GREN happening right there in front of you? Nature is constantly running this checklist every single second of the day. Keep observing, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.